Charlton Athletic, a club with a rich history now fighting to reclaim their place in English football. Once a mainstay of the Premier League, they've now fallen into Sky Bet League One, struggling to find their footing. But what if you could change that? What if you could bring Charlton back to the top of English football and turn them into Premier League champions? From their glory days in the 1940s when they won the FA Cup and were crowned First Division champions, to the rollercoaster ride that's led them where they are today. Charlton's story is one of highs and lows, but now a new challenge begins. A challenge that will take over a decade of blood, sweat, and tactical strategy to rebuild this iconic club from the ground up. Get ready to lock in. Every decision today matters. It's going to be a long one. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Then, this is going to be Charlton inside of FM24. Now, I will say I have already played one season and you can see the outcome up here because this is going to be a very long video. Over a decade of gameplay that went into this to try and make this happen. I won't spoil the exact amount of seasons, but trust me, it was a tough one. Now, the reputation, we have gone up to a 3-star now. The training remains the same at 3, same does the youth facilities, and the youth recruitment is looking pretty, you know, not great. Now, the interesting thing is, as I mentioned, we have played one season. There are rumours of a potential board takeover, so we might fast track our way into the Premier League if we get some pretty generous budgets. Now, one thing I talked about very briefly in the intro was the history of this team, okay? They have won trophies in the past, they have won stuff which we can talk about, and hopefully we can go back and reclaim. Now, at the moment, the down arrow hit really hard here. You can see here pretty much from what the 02 to 03, 04 season, it was not a great time. A little boost back up, but it's pretty up and down, and none of it is at the pinnacle of English football. Now, I will say, we are going to be playing a very fun tactic. We are going to be using my 4-2-4 meta new that is going to change, obviously, as we adapt this team. Now, we have played a season in Sky Bet League One because I knew how big this video would be, so I thought, let's just get right into it, where we do also win the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, so that is already going to be one trophy ticked off there, and of course the Sky Bet League One. Now, the English Cups I wasn't really caring about too much because, firstly, it's not the point of the video, and secondly, we're Charlton, you know, let's humble ourselves a little bit. We've got a lot of work to do. Now, the league was an absolute breeze. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We only lost 5 games. We won 36 and drew the other 5. So a lot of real good performances being displayed here. Now, we had 3 players in that average rating. We had two top goal scorers, sorry, and also just a really good assist ratio as well. A really strong season, and I'm going to be honest, when I deployed this tactic, I did know that the goal scoring side of things, we can go and get goals, we can outclass opposition, and we did that. Now, defensively, obviously, this is where it lacks a little bit, and it's the same when you're using a top team with this tactic, but I just thought if we go in with the mindset of outscoring, and we did, and we got the job done. You can see here, 36 goals from one striker, 51 from another, tons of assists from the wing-backs, a stacked midfield really contributing, even the bench as well, with Anake there coming in with 18 goals. I mean, it's a really strong display. Now, sadly for us, the likes of Ji Sung, who had a great season with 26 goal contributions, he is only going to be a loanee player, and whether we have got this money to buy him is a conversation for another day. The same can be said here for one of our centre-backs, who, again, I would happily take. He looks like a very solid Irish centre-back, and at 90k, he's actually joining permanently, so that's that worry gone. But the likes of Ji Sung, you hopefully get my point. It's not always nice to have these loan players. Now, in terms of money, we actually have got a budget of 4.5 million going into the championship, which doesn't seem like a lot of money, but I do feel like this team that we've got now, if we keep Ji Sung in the team, and obviously that loanee centre-back is ours anyway, I think we've got enough firepower to stay in the championship. Just off our team alone. I don't think we're going to go in and, you know, get back-to-back promotions, because if we do, it will say how good this tactic is, and then the hunt for that Prem title will be on. But realistically, there's only so far that 4.5 million gets you. In fact, it's not even 4.5. It's more like 4 million when you factor in the wage budget. So the debts and loans, by the way, almost next to none. So really nice to see that. And again, at any part of this video, if you do want to get this rebuild file, which is nuts, by the way, at the end of the video, and this tactic, and all of my rebuilds and all my tactics, you can head over to the Patreon page. We've got an exclusive, just for now, 20% off using code JD20. I'll put it on the screen as well. Make sure you go and get involved. But let's get in now to technically season 2, but the first season you have seen, and we're going to be flying in the championship. Let's see what we can do. But of course, we did have money to spend, and I'm going to pick up a player that I'm a really big fan of. Now, he is on the older side, but for our first season in the championship, I wanted to bring him in just for real experience and a little bit of stability in that midfield. It is going to be Joshua. I will not say the second name because I will butcher it, but I've used him tons of times in this game. He contributes with 11 goal contributions, above a 7 average rating, and he genuinely is a really, really good player. The sad thing is he is also very, very old, but for a season I thought, do you know what? We can bank having a really good DM in that team, and hopefully he's kept me up. We also go out and spend very little money on a player called Jeremy Seavey. Now, he was scouted at an A star, so I thought, do you know what? We'll get him in. Now, I will say it didn't really work out the best of the best. 1 goal, 2 assists, but for 300k, just to have the extra set of legs on the bench, it definitely helps. He is quite well rounded in the physical side of the game. The finishing and composure is quite alarming, but again, we have got to be aware we have got limited finances, and to be honest, at some point of this rebuild, this point of the rebuild, it's about just having numbers. We did go on to sign Connor. Obviously, he was going to join permanently anyway, but we'll see how he's done. He has come in and actually played a load of games and actually improved in terms of the average rating. So it's really good to see that he actually took the challenge to come to this club, play well in Sky Bet League 1, and play well in the Sky Bet Championship. So that was actually a very good signing. Have gone with a little loan spell now because sometimes you just can't afford these players. And the first one is going to be Thomas Galvez. Now, he's valued at 13 to 15 million, so I doubt we can afford to get him. And it does break my heart to say that because he has had a great season. 13 assists, a 7.16 average rating. And this guy is just incredible. For this team, he's rapid, the tackling's good, the crossing's decent, decision making. He's only 20 and he's English, only on £500 a week. The guy's a dream, but we just can't afford, I highly doubt, 15 million on one man. Same can be said for Louis Barry. Obviously, if you watch English football, you'll be very familiar with this guy. Now, he is such a good player to have in this Charlton team. And for that money, sadly, we can't because he's joining Vallecano. Otherwise, I would have actually tried to buy him because I think we could spare 500k on him. But sadly, we're not going to get the opportunity after a pretty decent season as well. I mean, that is a really good return. It's absolutely gut-wrenching that he's been called back to Villa and have decided just to sell him. Another loanee coming in, and one that is really going to sting again from Man City. If we can't get them, it's going to be Divin Mbamba. Now, this guy comes in and he plays a ton of games, but he scores 20 goals, 8 assists, and drops a 7.22 average rating. The guy is an absolute menace. A great striker, reasonably quick, got great composure, great finishing, a leading Sky Bet Championship player with potential to become a Premier League player. If we're talking about dream strikers that we could obtain, this guy goes right into P1. There's again a player coming in from Luton on loan this time, and again a value that we don't know if we can afford. We might be able to, we might not, but he is a great option because he can play anywhere across the back line. He's young, he's got the pace, the tackling's not the best, but let's be reasonable, okay? We're not going to pull in, you know, the likes of Aaron Hickey who can do it all to a very, very good level, but he come in, played 15 games, played very well in my opinion, and if he is wanting a move, I'd happily work with him. Even with those amazing signings, in my opinion, I thought they were great signings, we are going to find ourselves getting knocked out in the first round of the Carabao Cup against Burton. This one's more acceptable. It is a very early exit, but we are playing a team like Liverpool, so let's just be pretty humble, okay? Because Liverpool are still obviously miles above us. Now, what I will say is in terms of actual league, get ready, we have won the championship, we have done the McKenna, we are right into the Premier League, and I tell you what, in my opinion, maybe a season or two too soon, because now there's a real big worry that we might go right back down. Now, the positive to this is, we should have a bit of cash flow coming in, because obviously, this is one of the most lucrative things to win in English football. Now, it was quite close, only 10 points separate us and Sheffield, but we had such a point gap to guarantee the playoffs. I mean, 80 and that's to 5th place as well. I mean, it is absolutely dominance. It's incredible. It really, really is. And as you can see, we have got players that are performing great. Matt Godden, we have got Mbamba, of course, that striker we talked about. We've also got the second most clean sheets for a goalkeeper. It is an absolute stellar season. And in return, we have been given a budget of 47 million. Now, the debts and loans is basically 0-0. So we can go and spend this money, and I will go and spend this money, because now we have got to strengthen. And I look at this team, okay, and I love everything about it. I love the formation. I love what the players have done. But are they really Premier League players? Are they going to keep me up? Are they going to actually, 1, stay in the Premier League, and 2, develop in the Premier League? And that's what we've got to think about, because you can't get too attached to them all the time. Now, realistically, Galvez, I am desperate to keep. But he is 15 million. If we actually go and ask, 13 to 15 is what they want. So that is going to eat into our budget right off the bat. And I am very much a person where I would rather spread the budget and bring in a fair few new faces opposed just to a couple. Now, the exception for that would be this guy, because he's an absolute beast. And I want a total of 5 million to 7 million. I would pay 7 million any day. So that is the exception. But what I am really liking in this team, if you just feast your eyes on it for a second, you can see how well-rounded we are. We have got people chipping in all over the shop when it comes to goals. We have got everything going on. And genuinely, this team is absolutely cooking. But there is one man that I want to build this team around. He's on the thumbnail, and whether it happens or not is a mystery. But that is going to be none other than Johan Bakayoko. He is my favourite wonder kid in this game, and I absolutely love him. He develops incredibly every time I use him. I need to get him in. We won't this season, I can promise you that. A 32 million release clause, though. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it goes against everything I believe in, but it's Johan Bakayoko. I'll come back to you with some updates. We have not signed Bakayoko because it was not the right decision not to spend all that money in the first window. We do, however, welcome in a great versatile winger who is still only 26, a good Premier League player in Sailmakers. Now, I will go and say right now, he only cost us 5 million and returned some very attractive stats for his first Premier League season. He is just an incredibly versatile player who's actually, ×5 valued at what we paid? Great business, great player, great signing. Next up is on the older side, but a player that I know can score goals and has played for some pretty big teams. That is going to be Correa. Now, he is 31, but we don't spend a penny. He contributes 20 goal contributions, drops close to a 7 rating, and once again is worth about £20 million. So, great for business, great for the current state of the team as well, and just a player that I can turn to and say, yeah, I know he'll do something. And the same story is going to be about Marco at the end of the day. He's a player that is on the older side, but a great player out wide, and he comes in on the free, 8 goal contributions, not as good as the previous man, Correa, but a man that we can easily sell in the future for 7 to 10 million. Again, at this stage of the rebuild, it's all about giving these players chances, really getting to know what you're about, what path you're going to take. And is he going to be with us in 10 years? For 7 years, 5 years? Probably not. But for now, he is playing a part. Next up, for 19 million, a big signing. It is going to be Dango. He's going to come in from Bournemouth, and I tell you what, it's a decent first season, considering it is a step up, obviously, from the Championship. But I signed this guy for a multitude of reasons, okay? Because in the long term, I think he could be at this club for easily 7 to 8 years, genuinely. I think he's a great player. He's a decent Premier League player, literally. He's quick, he's versatile. He can even do the finishing to a certain extent, and he's still young enough to work with. So for me, that completed a very, very easy decision. And to finish things off, we are going to go over and sign this absolute machine from Norwich. We couldn't sign the man we on loan from City. He wanted to stay at City, and now he's been loaned out again. So awful decision making from him, but we have found a like-for-like replacement, and he has come in and scored 19 goals and gained 6 assists in his first season in the Premier League for us. Previously of Norwich, Nottingham Forest, Union Berlin. That is going to be Big Taiwo. Now, this guy, he's got everything. He is quick, composure, lackluster, I will be honest, but finishing, dribbling, first touch, and considering the composure's 10, to score nearly 20 goals in the Prem, I'll work with him on that. That is completely fine. But with these signings, between me and you, we've now got to ask the question, have I done enough? Have we done enough to stay in the Premier League? Only time's going to tell. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's go over and see how our first season in the top flight of English football actually went down. Well, do you know what? Buzzing. Absolutely thrilled with that, because we're not even far off European places. We have got a player in Taiwo in the second top goal scorers, and we are nowhere near the relegation zone. We are, in fact, 21 points, 20 points off that sort of bottom drop. And the great thing about this is we can go and look to raid Leicester, Sheffield, Luton. If they've got any players, I'll snap them up. And this is a very big statement. Yes, we lose 15 games. It's expected. But the fact that we are only a handful of points of actually being in the top 8 is absolutely remarkable. For a first season, what a bit of entry ground to lay down. Now, the rest of the cups, they weren't great. The 5th round exit to Fulham, I didn't mind too much, because Fulham are still a good team. West Brom are a good team, but as you can see, they're a team that I feel we do match up with. They're in the Championship. They're a team that I feel that we can be beating, and we lose on penalties, which is really the dagger in the neck. Now, for me, I'm going to take this season based off this finish. I'm not going to be too angry because, like I said, I was frightening myself about survival. So to finish in 9th is a real big testament to how well this team's coming along. Now, in terms of money, we have got a grand total of 45 million, so not too similar, or not too different, sorry, from the last transfer window. We've got around, 4.7 million total debt, so not too bad. And in terms of the tactics, we can go and see this right now. Now, obviously, let's just calm down, recompose ourselves. They are going to be nothing like the stats in League One or the Championship, because we're now playing some pretty good people, okay? Now, 16-8 is still great from Sailmakers. Great here coming in from Taiwo, 19-7. Correa, 13-7. 8-1 for Leeburn on the bench. We've got 5 assists coming in there from a backup centre-back, come left-back. Godden there with 3 goals as well. You know, it's not fantastic stuff, and sadly, you are going to see, especially if you're a Charlton fan, you are going to see some of these players leave every year, because what I do is, every season, I go and filter down for a year in advance. So, say we got to this point now, because that is 2027, so that is next year. We'll look at this, and I mean, for example, Macaulay, he can go. Connor can go. We've got the likes of Kane, he can go. These 3 can go. These 3 can go. Eventually, the team is going to go for a big change, and it does happen year on, year on. Now, I don't just release these players. I always try to sell them, but without trying to be disrespectful in how I say this, they're not the most attractive players to sell all the time. So, they're on the transfer list. They're getting offered out, and I'll even hire an intermediary, I always butcher that, to try and sell them. But if I can't sell them, I would rather them leave on the free, so I can at least have the wage back. Because, you know, all these 5 grands, 10 grands, 27 grands, it's always a player who's 34, they add up, and they have to be moved on. It's just a harsh world of football. So let's get in now to our second season in the Premier League, and let's just carry on strengthening them, because I tell you what, we're making some progress here. It's a little bit heartbreaking because he was a player that I absolutely love, but we've got to be realistic to ourselves. He's now 36, so goodbye to Joshua. Yes, it is a £1.7 million loss, but he come in and really helped in that Championship season. He kept a composed head in the Premier League as well, but sadly, it's time to move on. But we do replace him with Nicholas Raskin, coming in from Rangers. Again, a player that wasn't easy to land, but a player that is so well-rounded and such a good player in terms of in-game performance, because he's got their mental attributes, he's got the technical and the physicality side to him. And I tell you what, also offers a fair bit of pace, which is very rare. You get the complete package. Now, he comes in for a total of 25 million. He contributes with 8 goal contributions, a 7.110 average rating, and for 25 million, I don't really think you find many better players that will come to a team that haven't got European football, for example, and his value is already going up to about 46 million. So for 26 years of age, you've still got 5-6 years of use out of him. I genuinely think it is a very, very good move. So probably our biggest signing today in terms of name. Or is it? Because we have gone and spent fairly big on a Belgian unit. It is going to be Sardella. He's going to come in from Anderlecht for 29 million. One big instalment signing, only 5.75 paid up front. So a big gamble. And if we don't improve, then I'm going to be questioned. But I tell you what, it's not the best return, to be honest, in terms of average rating. But if you've signed this guy, I've signed this guy. You know how good he can develop. He can literally become almost a perfect 5-5 player. He's already a good Premier League player. He's 25. He can also play right back, left back. So there's several reasons there why you'd pick him up, right? There is so many different reasons to get this guy in the team. And for me, when he was available on the market and actually had a bit of intrigue to come and accepted under 40k a week, you've got to take him, but he's already wanted by the Saudi teams. Next up for 3.1 million, he looks fuming to be here. It's going to be Franco Ibarra coming in, and there's a player that is very unorthodox for me. He was purely on the scouting list. I'm not going to pretend I know who he is, but he comes in, he does okay. For 3.1 million to add another player into that midfield, of course, currently a Sky Bet Championship player, and as you can probably tell from looking at him and looking at my reaction, he is purely a backup player for this team. Now, where he does really thrive is that mental side of the game. He's a really good player in that regard. And also, not just that, okay? He is quite well balanced, but of course, not one of the better midfield players in our team, to be honest. But just for that extra set of legs, a player that can come in and just play those cup games even, for that price tag, I think is pretty fair. Top is going to be a bit of a gamble on a goalkeeper because we needed a better keeper. And I tell you what, yeah. We spent nearly £6 million. He's conceded 60 goals in 38 games, kept 9 clean sheets. Now, I never like to judge the goalkeeper alone on this because our backline is improving, but still not incredible. So the goalkeeper is going to be facing a ton of shots against him. So do you know what? For his first season, it was better than what we had last season in goal. So that is the main thing. And this guy, look how happy he is to be here. He lives and breathes Charlton Athletic. And lastly, a real exciting signing. Do you know what? I tried to get Bakayoko, but he wasn't interested this year, and I think it is the European football that is putting him off. We need to try and reach that. Now, Datro Fofana is an incredible man, okay? Because he can play up front, on the right, on the left. He's 24. He is on a fair bit of money per week, but we only paid 6.5 million because Chelsea weren't really using him. And he has come in and gained 21 goal contributions, 14 goals, 7 assists, dropped a 6.94 average rating. This guy offers so much to the team. Pace, dribbling, finishing, flair. He genuinely is a really good player, and I feel like sometimes gets a little bit overlooked. Now, for us, he's a star player. For Chelsea, he's one of the rest, right? So I think this is a good move for him, and I'll say it again, look at the smile. He loves it. And that does complete the end of this window. Obviously, losing a player that I really like, but gaining 5 players that all done pretty decent. So let's go and see if we can improve. First up is going to be the Carabao Cup, where we do fail again, and we are going to get knocked out in the 4th round, this time against Bournemouth in 2-0 fashion. The FA Cup, again, I'm not going to be too angry, the same as last year, because we do play a decent team in United. We lose 3-2 in extra time. We are taking these teams to the tough ends of the game, such as penalties and extra time, but we haven't really got the squad to go into extra time and compete with a team like Manchester United at the moment. But the rest of the season, yeah, disappointing. Well, not disappointing. It's going to be 1 place down from last year, but at least we've not tanked, okay? I must admit, with seeing how well a couple of those players done in the transfer window, mainly Datro Fofana, I did think that maybe we could push into an 8th place, maybe even a 7th, but I might have been a little bit crazy to try and think that. Now, looking at this, okay, it's still not bad because we are so clear of the drop still, which is probably something now we need to be expecting because we are spending money every year. And when you look at the gap to 7th place, it's 10 points. Now, that sounds like a lot, right, when you say 10, but if you really think about it, it's just say, if you round down 1, it's 3 different results, okay? 3 wins can change everything. Now, in my opinion, that should be something we achieve, if not the next season, the season after, to try and really cement ourselves in that top 7 placement. Of course, then you go through the next phase of the rebuild when you're playing European football, and it gets a lot more complicated because you've got more games to play. So you get another challenge hit like a brick wall. Now, the one thing you'll notice is we have not got many players in terms of stats, and the same can be said. But I mean, 5th place for goals. Defensively, we are nowhere to be seen. Possession, nowhere to be seen, which we won't be because it's not a possession tactic, but defensively, we are nowhere to be seen. And that tells me that maybe we might go and tweak this tactic. For example, lower the line. It is a very aggressive tactic, and just see how we can do. Because, I mean, the forward players are doing well, and that's why I don't want to sacrifice too much. So we can do one or two things here. We can either change the tactic and lower the line a little bit so it balances out the team. That will sacrifice goals being scored. Or we can have a couple more seasons by bringing in really, really good defenders like Sardella across the entire back line, and they'll be able to cope with the much higher line. And I think that might be the path I'm going to go down, because this goal scoring outlet, you don't want to lose. It is absolutely incredible, and even the players on the bench who aren't scoring tons of goals, they are coming on and scoring 4 to 6 a season, which can be all the difference. You know, you always have those players. Think of Hernandez at United back in the day, a real good bench player, but the key players in this team at the moment are the likes of Raskin, and to be honest, the entire front four. But the likes of Correa, let's not forget, he is 32, he's only getting older. This man here, he's still 29. He's still got years in him. What a signing he was. And obviously the likes of Fofana has been incredible. Same with Sailmakers, who is still only 27. But one of these people might have to move eventually, because I want Bakayoko in my team. I don't know why. I just absolutely love the guy. Now, in terms of money, we have actually got quite a lot. We've got nearly £80 million to go and spend. The debts and loans is only £6 million there, so we can go and spend at least 65 of this, to be honest with you, and that will be completely fine in my head anyway. Now, as a club, we are constantly growing, okay? We're 3.5 star on the reputation. That is a big thing we're trying to improve. The owners are happy to stay. That financial takeover, or should I say owner takeover, didn't actually happen. So I think the owners are, you know, we'll stay. We'll stay. And I think that's a bit disrespectful, because we've got them from Sky Bet League 1 to the Championship to the Premier League, and now we're 10 points off a top 7 finish. You've got to back me. You've got to back me. Cue the next season. Right then, this is where this team potentially can go from here to here, because when you're able to attract these caliber of players, especially on the free, he doesn't have the most electrifying first season, but he's still only 25 and he's a man that holds a value of £40 million. It's Harvey Elliott. Now, he's already wanted by a Saudi team, but I want this guy to be a talisman in my team, and I think he can be, because we can potentially, we will look to tweak the tactic a little bit to make him fit in it, because at the moment, he's obviously playing out on the wide areas because we are playing a 4-2-4. Now, this guy just offers so much. I really like him, and whenever he becomes available, either for around 25 million or on the free, I will pick him up. And you know what? The statement's been made. We're now attracting Liverpool players. We have gone and signed another goalkeeper, and I will be honest with you, he was actually a lot better when we signed him. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be Xander Voort. He comes in for 11 million. Now, he does keep a load of clean sheets, so I don't really know how he's got worse, because he's actually done quite well, better than the previous goalkeeper. He was actually getting on for a 4-star rating, but at the end of the day, he still can become a decent goalkeeper. It's an improvement on last year, and for the price tag of 11 million, I think it's fair game. This is more like it, that back line that we're trying to improve so we can actually justify that much higher defensive line is going to be Nianzou. Now, this guy's a tank. He's an absolute unit. 25 years of age. He's not the quickest anymore, so we are going to pair him next to someone with some pace, but he has got, you know, the strength. He's got the heading, the tackling. He's got everything that you would want. The aggression, the composure, the bravery. He is just a really well-rounded centre-back who, unfortunately, the pace has gone down a little bit on him, but still can offer a ton. And for £15 million, he scored 5 goals, I imagine, from set pieces, a great average rating. you're not going to get much better on the market, are you? Because we also attract Sealer, meaning now we have got one of the best centre-back pairings and rotation, probably at our level in the league. Now, he was a pricey boy, 41 million, and he doesn't contribute as much in goals or assists, but the average rating is all that I care about when it comes to a centre-back. And can you just look at him, please? I mean, this guy, this is the pace we need at centre-back next to Nianzou. He's got 15 acceleration, 16 pace, 16 reach, fitness, strength, 19 leadership. The guy is a born leader at 25. A great centre-back, and one that I will keep paying this amount of money for every single rebuild. He's an absolute diamond. Player that I actually saw play the other day against England, it is going to be Aslani, coming in for a grand total of 14 million. A quite decent season, 9 goal contributions. Not half bad, to be honest, for a backup player who comes in for £15 million. Again, he has played a lot of time, or all of his time, over in Italy, but he's a player that is just semi-well-rounded, very, very obtainable in terms of he wanted the move as well. And he does come in, he plays a lot of games as well, and although it's not the most incredible return in terms of assists, he's clearly done quite a good job. Lastly, on the free, and a man valued at 78 million, although I think that's a bit fabricated because you're not going to get that for him, is Fernando. Previously of Salzburg, of course. If you watched me on Twitch back in the day, this was one of my favourite players. We get him, and he does nothing. So let's just forget I signed him, because that is an absolute disgrace. And I'm going to say it right now, this might be a one season and one season out job. We might look to sell him because he was registered and he didn't play a single game. And I don't know why. I don't know why, because there was opportunity for him to do so. We're off to Wembley now, and it is going to be an FA Cup final against Manchester United. And I tell you what, they are playing some very, very good players compared to us, as Rashford is going to make it 1-0 inside of 24 minutes. But we bounce back. Correa, and it is going to go to Sardella, playing at right back today. A little cut inside, back into the middle. Martinez is, oh wow, thank you Martinez for the goal. Absolutely shocking defending, and it's all tied up. Now into the 70th minute. It is going to be Edwards on the ball. Into Sailmakers. It's going to be a good tack in there from Johnston, over the top into Rasmus Højlund, who's going to go through and tuck it past the goalkeeper, and that is going to be Manchester United back ahead. Disappointment. Bruno into Lenny Yoro. That's going to be 3-1 in 84 minutes, and there's one more goal, and it comes to Manchester United. Johnston into Garnacho, ball in, Marcus Rashford, a 4-1 defeat. We also get knocked out in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup on penalties, so a final loss and a penalty exit. It's utter heartbreak in the Cups. What isn't heartbreak is a top 4 finish in the Premier League. Now, I will say, it's ridiculously close, okay, but Arsenal would have got European or Champions League football anyway, so we are completely fine, and that is a statement being made. Now, part of me's worried, part of me's happy, because we have got no goal scorers chipping in to achieve this, but the likes of Dango, for example, is the 4th best performer in the Premier League. Our goalkeeper's the 2nd most clean sheets, but are we ready for the Champions League? Now, we have moulded this tactic into a different beast now, okay? Because we have got Correa centrally, and also that means we can play the likes of, where is he? Where is Harvey Elliott gone? Where is Harvey Elliott gone? Am I being completely blind? Harvey Elliott, we can retrain him and play him in more of a familiar position. So that is more tailored to him. When it comes to the defensive line, it has remained the same, because we are going to really keep it, because I think we are improving the back line so much, we don't need to change it all the time. Now, Sardella is playing right back now and enjoying a great time. Nianzou having a great time. Sealer having a great time. Atara, great. I mean, this is a bit of a weird one, okay, because he was brought in to be a right mid and he's playing left back. Now, he's only got 9 tackling, but the guy is putting up so many goals and assists. I'm almost happy with it. It's a bit of a weird move, but it's working very well. Raskin enjoyed a great season. Fofana did. Fernando obviously didn't play too much. Sailmakers 13-1. Correa 8-11. Taiwo 9-3. It's not the best of the best season from him, but he's had too many good seasons for me to slate him. And I mean, just overall, we are playing some very, very good football. Good football to the point where we have got Champions League football. Yes, it would have been sweeter to win the FA Cup. I will not lie to you. Of course it would be, but sometimes it doesn't go your way. And on that occasion, it definitely didn't. A 4-1 defeat. We've had some losses in here, boy oh boy. But if we actually go and look at the money, we have been given a budget of 54 million. Now, The debt is there, and that's my responsibility. So we've got to be sensible in the next window. What I will say is, I still think we may be a season too early for Champions League football. So I'll say it very early on before we get into the next season. If we do fall out of the top European places, I am not surprised. All I'm going to say. Right then, for £10 million, I've picked up what I like to call a bargain, a big bargain. It's going to be Gier, but how you say that? Guy? I'm not entirely sure, but he comes in from a team which, to be honest, do produce some very good players. Now, he wasn't produced there, of course, but he was playing there for quite a fair few years. For 10.5 million, he's got 16 goal contributions. The guy is an absolute menace if you look at him. He's got so much going for him. He is quick. He's got great tackling. He's got decent crossing. Not great, but decent. Great passing. He can play inverted and also just as a normal wing-back. He's 25, so not old, and I think he walks into the right-back position with pretty much no competition, which is great because it means that the centre-back that was playing right-back can now go back to where he actually plays best. Again, no Bakayoko because he doesn't want to join us. It's so frustrating. We've got Champions League football and he still rejected us, but we do pick up a great winger in Darami, and in many ways, it could be better because he's on the free, 21 goal contributions, 7.22 average rating. He's valued at £79 million. I've ticked every box. Quick winger, free, not the wages, 185 grand a week, so a lot of money to actually have him here. But business-wise, it is good because if a club wants him, minimum 60 million is what I want. Now, he has had a great first season. He gives me very similar vibes to Bakayoko, that nippy winger with the great sort of dribbling and the finishing that's okay but not world-class, you know. It's similar vibes. It's not Bakayoko, but he's a player that I'll happily have in the team. Absolute unit in midfield. It is going to be Samu, valued at 73 million, but we paid nothing. A great first season. He's always a player that doesn't put up the most ridiculous stat lines, but will always be that player to put in a challenge, win the ball back, play the pass that then gets the assist. He's a great player to have in the team, a very unselfish team, almost like a Rodri is who I compare him to. Not as good, but almost a similar sort of vibe to him, and he is just a very, very, very he's just a DM. That's exactly what I'd use to describe him. He is the DM. Simple. And for 36 million, I have turned to another striker, because we are playing two up top. We do always need to sort of keep new faces coming in. A leading Premier Division striker who offers blistering acceleration, great pace, immaculate composure and finishing, and also great penalties, which might come in handy. He has come in, Arizo, for £30 million, scored 23 goals in 37 games, and also 10 assists. That is absolutely remarkable. For 30 million, I'll take it any day. That is potentially a Premier League winning striker. In terms of his individual contribution, it is incredible from him. Now, that is £40 million spent for four, I'll say it, world-class players for this standard of team. Absolutely incredible. The only man we lose is Harry Kamara, who I don't even know too much about, if anything. So that, for me, is a very strong transfer window. Can it hack dealing with the Champions League and keep a consistent Premier League finish? I don't know. Let's go and find out. Well, I tell you what, I'm happy with that. I've not seen how we've done in the Champions League or any other cup, but we've maintained a top four finish, which it feels almost like a win because it shows that we can hack playing now in 4 competitions opposed to obviously 3. Now, we are seeing Arizo just 6 goals behind Haaland. Correa still cooking at the age of 34, the second best performer. Incredible stuff. Our new right back, joint second most assists. A real strong season, but we've got the opportunity to make this sweeter. Can we go and win the Champions League in our first attempt? Maybe. Maybe not, because it was very close to getting to the final, I will say, and we would have played Chelsea, and we have beaten them in the league, so potentially we could have done it, but Madrid just about beat us on the day. But I mean, the quarterfinals, we get past Frankfurt, who are probably an easier team. This is not an easy team, a 3-1 win in the round of 16, and the league phase, we only lose 2 games against AC Milan and Arsenal, but we're beating Villarreal, Madrid, okay, the rest of the teams are pretty, a 10-1 win, that is against Athens to be fair, but regardless, a very good season in the Champions League. Don't blink twice, we are in another FA Cup final, and this time we're playing Reading. Yes, we're playing Reading. So if we are going to win a trophy at any point, this is going to be the time to win it. A great goal there inside of 16 minutes from Darami, a great ball in and an even better finish. And I tell you what, we were really up for this game, and we should be. We're the better team going in on paper. We've got the better tactic, the better manager. And I tell you what, 2-0, 34 minutes. And this is now going to look a bit like a bloodbath because it is goal after goal. A set piece comes in, a great corner, a great header there from the Anzu, from centre back to centre back there, a great ball in as we are going to have an injured Sardella find Samu, the DM of dreams, into Correa, a little cutback back into Sardella, who actually, that is beautiful considering he's injured as well. A great finish there to go 4-0 up, and it's an injured Sardella again, back into Samu, back into Sardella on this left hand side, taking his time, ball in, Arizo back stick, and that is going to be a 5-0 lead. Now, the saving grace was just a consolation from Reading, but at least we win. Yeah. We played Reading. Now, who have Reading faced to get here? So, okay, yeah, they scrapped it. I mean, we beat Tottenham 4-1. They beat Liverpool on penalties. The quarterfinals, they beat, yeah, so they had a mixture of a run, but fair play for going. You know, fair play to them. They've got to the final. And I don't hate them for it because we actually had an opportunity to win the FA Cup. Now, in terms of the other trophy, that is the Carabao Cup. We don't do as well a quarterfinal exit against Liverpool. Funny enough, the team that do fall very early, obviously, or very late on in this FA Cup. But that is a real good season because we've got top four football. We've won our first big trophy and we're semi-finalists, very close to finalists in that Champions League. And that should give us a budget of 72 million pounds. Now, the debts and loans are practically clear again. Of course, doing what we've done here is generating constant cash flow, so really healthy for the team. And the team is looking really healthy itself. If we go and look at the team right now, there's players in here who I could say could win a Premier League, and we're going to talk about them now. The right back 100% can. He's got 27 goal contributions. That's a man that can win a Premier League title. I think the two centre-backs in the Anzu and Sela can do it as well. Sardella at left-back now can do it. A very good player. Raskin, maybe not. Samu, yes. Correa, yes, but he's older. But 21 and 19, incredible. 29 and 9 from Darami, he can do it. Fernando, this is more like it, Fernando. More like it. 17 and 14 from him. Arizo, 57 goal contributions. He can win me a Premier League title. Fofana with 15 as well. 5 and 12s for Atara, who is a player who we are not going to forget about because he's been here pretty much from day one. And Sailmaker's 1 and 5. So, I tell you what, genuinely, there's easily over half this team that will probably win me a Premier League. And I believe that. I genuinely believe that. Now, I will go over and say a couple of things here. Because I planned for this to obviously be just the Premier League win. That's what I planned. Simple as that. But if we carry on being this competitive in the Champions League, you best know I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to go big time for it. It's a sad day for us because we are going to wave goodbye to Correa. Now, let's just go and have a quick look at what he's done for the club, okay? Because he has been here since the first season in the Prem and done nothing, but actually somewhat improved, to be honest. So, do you know what? There is no hard feelings there at all. I hope he goes and enjoys his time over there because genuinely really helped me out. Big time. The three, we are going to welcome in Siladia. Now, it's going to get quite confusing because we've got Sardella and Siladia, but he comes in on the 3, and again, monster of a centre-back come wing-back. 6 and 8, a great season. Yes, he's on the older side, but I do think we're now progressing too quickly. Now, I will say, this backline might be up there with some of the Premier League best in terms of just overall what you've got to offer, because this guy's an absolute mammoth as well. Genuinely, our backline is ridiculous. Yeah, we'll go and improve it some more, shall we? We have now got one of my favourite left-backs to ever touch this game. It is going to be Gutierrez, coming in from Real Madrid for 17 million, 15 goal contributions, 7.22 rating. I mean, genuinely, the guy's a machine. If I can ever get him. He's very hard to sign, though, I will say. But when he is willing to move, it's a no-brainer. £30 million, we are going to welcome in Mario, coming in from Bayern for a total of 30 million, 26 goal contributions, 7.3 average rating, and the guy's only 25. And look at the attributes: technical, mental, physical, monster, monster, monster. So many in the yellow category, and genuinely so versatile. Can play up front as an attacking midfield player. I've even seen some people retrain him into a deeper midfield player. This guy, he's the future of Charlton. Also, I'm going to go over and pick up Casado. Now, I will be honest, I've had what I like to call a famous Daily Josh installment season. Now, we have gone over and spent 93 million on a man that is yet to touch the grass. So, yeah, I'm moving a bit like Roman Abramovich back in his days. And, yeah, I mean, the guy's incredible, okay? He is such a good player. But I tell you what, he needs to actually make sure he plays in one of these seasons, because he should get in the team without a shadow of a doubt. So if I have to, I will lock the guy in, because he's one of the best players I have ever seen at this stage of the game. And lastly, we're going to raid Bayern again for a great goalkeeper in Jonas Erbig, who comes in and again, yet to actually play a game. And I can explain why. I thought I'd build up the drama a little bit. It's because we actually failed to register them. They were already done. The registration was done, and I went in and raided all three of these players, and we spent big, £212 million, and we have gone ridiculously big on instalments. I'll be honest, we've gone mental, like seriously mental. And this might change the way it's sort of shaped up, because we've only got 2 players going out, and I planned for a decade of this rebuild to take place. I planned a decade, 10 years this would take us. I think we've done it this season. Let's go and find out. Well, we haven't, and it's a little bit interesting, because obviously the likes of Mario did get to play some games, and he does perform very, very well. Also gets the most assists, and Arizo gets the second most, and also the third most goals. So our new signings, one from last year, one from this year, are doing very, very well. Now, I set myself this challenge of saying, yeah, it's going to be a decade to rebuild, a decade project, 10 years. I think we can do this literally in the next couple of seasons, which would be season 8 or 9, because we are a handful of points, not even that really, off winning the league. We're catching up at a rapid rate, and it is nothing short of just the sheer talent we're bringing in. Everything's working. We're spending big, but the players are working. We're getting trophies in the meantime. The question is, have we managed to win anything in this season as well? Well, sadly, it's literally going to be deja vu. It's going to be another exit in the Champions League, this time again in the semi-finals. So sadly, no progress in that regard. But we have got a Carabao Cup final against Man City, and I tell you what, this is early on into the game. 2 minutes played, and it is going to be Jeremy Doku with so much space, and Erbig. That's not what you pay the fee for. That's not good enough at all. But we are going to find a way back into this game. 70 minutes on the clock. How that has got through, I do not know. But Gutierrez down the left-hand side. Ball in, and it's going to be the new man, making it 1-1 inside of 70 minutes. And this is where things get a little bit tasty. 105 minutes on the clock. Literally the last kick of the first half of extra time. It's going to be the star right back. Is he going to put a ball in? He is. And it is going to be none other than Sailmakers to make it 2-1. As it stands, we are going to be winners, and this is now not something you want to see as a City fan. Ederson loses his mind and also gets chipped in one of the best goals I have ever seen. Surely we've won this, right? Well, potentially not. Man City put a ball in, and it's a great header, but sadly, we're still going to take it. That is right, we are going to be your Carabao Cup winners. The FA Cup, you know, not ideal. It's going to be quite an early exit in the 4th round, but at the end of the day, we've already won one English trophy. We don't want to be selfish, do we? Or do we? Because we've got a chance to win the Community Shield here. Again, not the big one. A lot of people call it the Charity Cup, don't they? Or something like that. But I tell you what, I'll happily take it. But as it stands, that won't happen. A great goal there from Evan Ferguson, the new Liverpool striker. But when you've got the likes of Arizo on your team, you can always back on him to do something, and it's a great set piece, a great free kick, and we actually go on to win this game literally in the last kick of the game. Gutierrez into Samu, out wide into the star right back, and that's why you sign him. completes a stellar season, our best season based off trophies won and league finish as well. A great season overall where we can all be proud, and despite having a fairly big window, we've got 53 million to spend. Now, the debts and loans are up there, so I think I'm going to keep it quite reserved with the players that I sign, and we'll see if we can sort of clear the debt as well, because I sometimes go down this path of signing really, really big players in one window and trying to like fast track it a little bit, then having a little quiet season, and it does sometimes work. So let's go and see what our team is on paper. Now, the team on paper can win a Premier League. Let me just say it very clear. Bakayoko's probably out of the plans now, by the way, very sadly, but the goalkeeper can, the backline's one of the best I've built, the midfield's incredible, this partnership's incredible, the front line's great. I mean, you've got 14 assists from the right back, 24 from the left back, 18 and 21, 28 and 10, 25 and 19, 17 and 10. You've got easily getting on for 20 goals off the bench from all the players, and probably about 13 to 14 assists as well. This squad is really, really playing well. And I tell you what, I advertise this as a decade rebuild, the famous 10-year rebuild, but I tell you what, even if we add another bit of spice into this team, another player, even if as backup, there is potential we close this gap. It's only 5 points. It's 5 points. And if we can do that, this gets done early. And I mean, it's a bonus, but I give myself 10 years. And just to recover that transfer debt a little bit, we made one signing. It's nothing special, really. 18 million. He's a great player, by the way. When I say nothing special, it's not like a 500 mil window. But a load of games played, and he is a really good centre-back, to be honest. Unfortunately, I believe towards the end, he might have had a little dip in form because he's got a lot of down arrows going on. But he's just a player to add into the team. Whether that makes a difference or not, I'm not too sure. But we've done our business from last year, so we can't go and go crazy again. It's time for another Carabao Cup final, and it is time to play Man City again. And whenever you play Man City, especially at this point of the season, or this point of the save, they've always got these immaculate wonder kids coming through. And I tell you what, it's a great start. Inside of 1 minute for them to go 1-0 up. But we don't give up. We have got our own wonder kids, our own experienced players, and we can take this game to them. A great goal there from Darami, although Ederson, or Jorgensen now, might want to actually take a step back, because that is not a great bit of goalkeeping. Darami is now going to be on the left-hand side. 35 minutes played. A little cut back into Fernando, back into Darami. That is as good as a give and go you will ever see in your life. A great goal being scored there to go 2-1 up. And the drama does not stop there. We're going to get on the press there. Great bit of press. And we're going to go in the middle, into Fernando, into Darami. Darami and Fernando, that link-up has been absolutely incredible. A 3-1 lead inside of the first half, as we are now currently finding ourselves inside of 60 minutes with Man City on the ball. Munoz, plenty of space to drive into, way too easy. Awful goalkeeping, and that is now going to shortly level it at 3-2. This is where they level it. Livramento, a great signing from them. Unlucky from Gutierrez. Munoz over the top into Doku, a great touch, and again, keepers all over the gaff. The final's got to him. It's got to him big time. But luckily, and I say luckily, we have signed the right players, okay? We have done a great job today. That would have been definitely a booking. A little cutback there. Arizo is going to make it 4-3. And this was one of the most dramatic games ever, because there's even one more goal to come. And we are going to wrap up this cup final in big fashion in a total 5-3. An 8-goal thriller. What a strike. What a game, what a team. We are going to be your runners-up in the FA Cup. It's a shame because we could have done at least the English Cup double this year. You're into a Champions League final for the first time ever, and it is going to be against Barcelona, and Barcelona's team looks nuts, and they deserve that. It is going to be a 1-0 lead inside of 32 minutes, and there was only 2 goals in this game before the penalty shootout, and luckily for us, we scored it, so we are going to get all the way to that penalty shootout with a goal from Gutierrez, the former Madrid man, and it comes down to penalties for us to win a Champions League title. A great penalty there from Araujo. Nothing Urbig could do. Arizo's got a step, and it's going to be a calm penalty down the middle right there. We are going to see Samu step. Great save from Urbig. That is more like it, Urbig. That's why we brought you in. We are going to have Struikens coming in. A great penalty down the middle. And so far, we have got the advantage. Burnau steps. A great penalty into the bottom left-hand corner. This is looking great now. Aslani steps. No. off the post. That is so unlucky it's not gone in. Pedri, great penalty from him. Never doubted him. No one should. Datro Fofana, he's missed it again. And I tell you what, we lose 4-2. Absolutely shambles. But we've won the Premier League. We have won the Premier League on goal difference. So the decade story that I planned and hopefully would have been this famous storytelling 10-year rebuild, decade, cement. But I tell you what, well, I say cement in history, I mean, not literal cement. We have won it in season 8, I believe. So we will make sure it's season 8, just to clarify. So we have got, we're in it this season, weren't we? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, season 8, we have got it done in. So do you know what? 2 years early, we've got the job done, and I believe it's deserved. We went with a very risky transfer sort of strategy. We spent big in a season that was, not necessarily needed, but that has paid off, I believe, genuinely. Seeing some of the players that we actually have attracted has also been really impressive to me personally, because we've got some really top players. We've actually won a Carabao Cup and a Premier League. We could have won the treble if we would have won this. The Champions League, also a final. We could have won the quadruple in season 8. Now, money-wise, there is a budget of 89 million. The debts and loans has gone up significantly, and that has just come back to bite us a little bit. But again, I will go over and say right now, we have completed this challenge and just gone to prove that sometimes signing the big boys gets the job done. You've got a 4.5-star reputation, you've got 4-star youth, which has gone up as well. The owners love the club, and a stacked trophy cabinet. And although there's a little bit of debt going on right now, you could easily do what I've just done in the last window, which was, of course, you can even sell some people, by the way, instantly profit there. You can just have these windows where you spend 20 million, because the team you've got is ready to go again for, I want to say, 2 more years minimum. It can literally go again like this. So genuinely, one of the funnest rebuilds I have done, and a real mixture of talent here. Some really, really good players. And if you do want to carry on the rebuild and also make me happy, go and sign Johan Bakayoko. How has he developed? Because he was the man that I planned this video all around. I don't know why. He's at PSV still, and I don't think developed that well, because we can get him for 29 million. So don't know why he was so annoyed about coming. But if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, if you want to get all of my tactics and rebuild files, you can use that code JD20 and get 20% off your first month or year. So you can really save a ton of money. And by the way, you get access to all of the giveaways as well, just off one payment. So if you are interested, you can go and check it out. But that is going to be Charlton rebuilt in FM24 back to Premier League winners. I'll see you in the next one.